Hey, what's going on, people? It's DeWine here. Uh this is my introduction to 360 MBAA, 360 mind body awareness and assessment. And for the purposes of this video, I just want to provide context as to why I'm here and why I'm doing this whole thing. And we got a website, 360MBAAA.com. You go there, get the superficial stuff. That was for the website, but um, people have to know me, who I am, my journey, my story, um, just to provide some context into why I'm doing this whole thing. I think I said that already, but yeah, my work in the mental health field started in what 2006. Uh, Started working with kids. Um, I always thought I was good with kids. Um, I always had a passion for kids. My grandmother, she loved the kids as well. Um, so she always talked about the children. So shout out to grandma for putting that in me. Um, and what's the Whitney song? I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them see the way. Teach them all the beauty they possess inside. That ain't Whitney. That's my man from what's that? Pardon me, I'm getting lost, but that's my man from Coming to America. Uh Anywho, so that's what I wanted to do. Started in '06 doing that, working in the behavioral program. Was able to move up from the entry position to the uh, next entry position. And I did very well with working with the children there. I think we did some good things. Um, and working in that field in the inner city where I'm at, uh, you get to see a lot of poverty. You get to see a lot of um, trauma, generational trauma. And I'm someone who doesn't use trauma too much. I think is overused, but yeah, it's working with those children. They've seen some things, they've experienced some things. Uh, from the situation that they were raised in, and at the end of the day, uh, what we did or what I did was knowing when there is dysfunction, there's chaos, and that means there's no order. So teaching children order, um, accountability, um, respect, respect for others, respect for their elders, respect for themselves. Um, and there's some good things there, but as as I started to grow as a person, as an individual, you start to see how things are ran, and I'm someone that studies systems, studies how things operate, and I always try to look at it from that lens, that perspective. And I saw the changes that were occurring, and the people that I started with, um, they were people that were from the community, um, who had close ties, to the community, um, and they were there for those children. Also to get a check. I ain't gonna be uh, foolish and say it was just for uh, the kids, but the check was good at that time, and we did some very good work. Um, and things change, and because of things beyond the control of the workers, it was the people who were from the community who didn't necessarily have college degrees or anything like that, who worked with the children, knew the community. Um, they couldn't move up, you know. The money only can go so far, um, unless you attain, those college degrees and all that stuff. So, I felt stuck because I didn't have that, but I realized that I was very good at working with children. Um, so I did the college thing. Uh, and I think I was doing a college thing prior, but it made me really take what I was doing in college seriously, because it comes to a point where the money ain't what it's supposed to be for the work that you're doing, and you look for ways to move up. And I was trying to move up within not that organization, but getting the I guess the ticket to professionalism or a career. And that's what getting a college degree gets you. You get to get a better job, supposedly. I got a better job. Um, I was doing other things, working with children in different programs, going through college, uh, going through my process of undergrad and then graduate school. So I worked in different places, got different experiences, but I always worked with children, preteens, teens, and all that stuff. Um, got a job after I, got my, I got a career after I got my graduate degree, and got a really good job. And in the process of being at that really good job, I thought it was going to be my career. My first 3 years, I really wanted to go and move up and do what I needed to do for my career. Again, working with children. Um, and as I started to see things and uh, understand money, there's different ways to get money. A lot of times to get money in these companies, these organizations, um, you got to do things and say things and be uh, something that you really ain't. And I know myself. I've always known myself. That's a big part of my story. Um, Knowing thyself and knowing what I am willing to do and what I'm not willing to do is a big part of why I'm here to you. Um, and just moving up, or not moving up, but being in that company and seeing how things were, seeing how things operated, you get to understand that fundamental things that uh, we did back in the day, um, which were, I think, tried and tested, proven things, um, things that really worked and really helped children or anybody uh, get to a better place. I think over the years, um, a lot of that stuff has been lost. This is my 18th year uh, in this field, and a lot of the fundamental stuff, uh, foundational stuff, has been lost. And what I'm seeing is the uh, monitor monetization of mental health and behavior therapy, uh, all that stuff that exists within the world of mental health. And I've gotten to a point where if I'm in that world, I'm just a robot. Uh, I'm just on the assembly line. I'm just putting pieces and moving it along. And that's not my that was never my intent. Doing this work, starting this work, it was always for whoever I'm working with to get better, and to progress. And even in undergrad or graduate school, um, one of the things that stood out by one of the professors, old school psychiatrists. I have my qualms with a lot of that stuff, but he said that a diagnosis is not a forever thing. You're in this work for people to get better, for change, for growth, for maturity. Uh, that's why you're in this work, and that resonated with me in that class. Um, and why I'm here today is I don't think that what we do, not what we do, what the profession has done, has monetized mental health. Um, and when you monetize mental health, you start seeing things that uh, may not be there. But, sometimes you create problems because you hear that, there's the wave now. So, and why I started 360 MBAA is because I used to, hear people talk about the therapists, and therapists are great, depending on the therapist that you get. But I don't believe in anybody being with someone for years upon years, and even a couple months. Um, at the beginning, at the end of the day, uh, at the beginning and at the end of the day, it is you versus you, as an adult. And children are products of their environments and products of their surroundings. So, in the case of children, I rarely place blame upon children themselves, because I understand that since children are products of their environments, their behaviors or symptoms of the tree. You know, don't get mad at the apple if the tree is bearing bad fruit. It's not the apple, it's the tree. But that's a deeper um, understanding of adults and children. And once we understand that, I think we can have serious conversation about behavior. Uh, and that's just looking at children. But as an adult, you got to look yourself in the mirror and be accountable for your own actions. Um, because if you are, because you're going to be accountable for your actions, you're going to be accountable for your inactions, and doing what you need to be doing what needs to be done, and whatever stage or wherever you are at in your life. um, that's something that's a conversation that you need to have with yourself. um, and what 360 MBAA is I am a conduit to getting you um, to a point where you can be independent of and have independent thought, um, have independent mind, sound mind, um, and be accountable to yourself. I've heard people um, say, let me run this through my therapist, things like that. Like you, I think that's a terrible thing when you have to, as an adult, you have to run things through your therapist or your overseer, um, because in some sense, um, that's what children do. They got to run things through mom and dad, through grandma, grandpa, through auntie or uncle. My thoughts, my opinions. But what 360 MBAA is, what I am here to do for you is provide you the tools, the skills, the strategies to be of sound mind and have confidence in what you do. Because if you do not have confidence in what you do, you seek uh, assistance from others to do things that you simply could do yourself. Um, I am uh I suffer from the same thing. You know, I have things that need to be done around my house, and I don't have the skills to do those things with do it the way that I think it needs to be done. You know, I like things done a certain way. So I have to outsource. It's simply because I don't have the tools. I can go invest in, you know, I can watch stuff off YouTube and things like that. You can learn a lot off YouTube and things like that. You know, how to Facebook, you know, Instagram. You know, you can learn how to do things, and I can do things. But you know, for the big projects, I outsource. And I I don't consider myself a house or anything like I consider myself a temple. Um, and since I consider this a temple, um, my temple, my inside temple, I don't, I try not to outsource too much. You know, I learn from here and there. I get skills to be independent and to do for self. And why I'm talking about this is because I think you know the therapist, the modern day therapist client relationship is based off of, uh, and I don't know if the therapist does this, and a lot can be given to the client because some people, um, I don't want to go there. I'm going to keep it on the therapist, but if I'm working with somebody and they're giving me money, uh, I'm going to do my hardest to be 100 with them, give them the honest truth. And I I know my approach isn't for everyone because I don't know too many people who like the truth. Um, given to them. Um, it's not my approach is not to be brutal, but my approach is to give you a reflection of what you're doing and to make sense of the things that you do and to step back, say, look at what you're doing and how much sense does that make? And if you've been doing that thing repeatedly, um, what because things that are habitual, you know, that's a habit. Um, but that's things done over time. That's what becomes habitual. That's a tree in some sorts. What is the product of that tree, or what is the foundation of that house that you've built? Is it a good foundation, or is it a card house or a house of cards? That is what I do for you. No, I also do other things. Depending, I am uh, well studied. Um, and I say well studied. I have a master's degree. I have schooling and education and all that stuff. But my studying what I consider well studied is stuff I learned outside of college or school, academia, for the most part. Um, so that is how I am able to um, be confident in what I do and what I have to provide to you. You know, I can't be Mr. 360 if I don't have a good amount of knowledge on things that are beneficial to you and your well-being. Um, so that is a bit of my story, just on a working in mental health, working in this realm, working in this work, because that is the work that I do for you. This is what I provide for you. You don't want to hear about my work at Circuit City and Sports Authority. That doesn't benefit you. I can give you experiences of being an employee. I have tons of experiences as an employee, and being an employee, working a job, um, not having full autonomy or being sovereign of my person, because when you're an employee, you are under someone else, and that impacts your work. And if you have a terrible boss, or a terrible work environment, that affects your person. So um, knowing that is a huge reason as to why I am here, doing what I'm doing, speaking what I'm speaking into this microphone right here, is because it becomes a point in life for people where you just do not want to be under someone else or under a a corporation or an organization or a job structure. This is coming from someone who has a good job. At the end of the day, it's a job. And knowing what I know, just about how things operate in companies, organizations, corporations, anything that has, steps and ladders and all that, bureaucracy and all that stuff. Um, you ain't ever gonna be the person uh, that has full autonomy over it. Even if you think you're at the top of the company, you answering to somebody. And I answer to, and that's my philosophy, my belief, just answering to no one but what made you. And 360 MBAA is here to provide you the skills, the tools, the strategy, as an individual, as an adult, to be where you want to be. And I can provide you uh, vision. I think I'm good at providing vision. Because some people, they have all this stuff, they don't know what to do with it. Maybe I can help you find out what to do with your talents. Um, And in this world in which we live in, it is best that we monetize our talents. Um, and I say that as someone, again, working in an industry where I see a lot of untalented people making a lot of money. Um, and it could be personal bias. It could be I'm just a big old hater, or it could be I see things in a different perspective, and I see the product of their work. Um, and I also see the direction in which things are going um, in the modern uh, way in which mental health treatment, therapy, and all other services are provided. And I'm never going to be an enabler. And since I'm never going to be an enabler, I'm going to call it how I see it. And it could be, I haven't been given the proper information, the right information to fully assess the situation thoroughly. But, you know, part of this relationship that I have, that I want to have with you, whoever I work with, is relationship based off transparency and honesty. And I'm an open book. I've done a lot of things, do a lot of things that I probably shouldn't be doing, and probably should not have done. I know I shouldn't have done things in the past, and in the present, uh, I try to be, always try to be upright, uh, but things that pull you down, and I'm my harshest critic. I judge myself very harshly. I know my flaws, I know my faults. Um, and if I'm critical with myself, if I'm honest with myself, if you give me money, I have to be honest with you. I have to be critical with you. And quite often, I have to trigger you. Now, your triggers are upon you. If I go to when I used to go to doctors and all that stuff, there was a time I used to go to the doctors and stuff. And at the time, I was a lot wider and thicker and all that. Bigger. I was fat. Fatter, I ain't got a six pack and nothing like that. But I was close to 300 pounds. Uh, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You gotta lose some weight, brother." Yeah. I can't get mad at that because I know, well, I knew at the time I had to lose some weight. Yeah, I can't call the doctor a hater. I just can't do it. I have to look at things rationally, logically. Um, and what things that I may say to you, you may uh, not like it, you may disagree with it. Um, it may even evoke a tear from you. That's the process. 360 MBAA is pay as you go. I know I'm not for everybody. Um, and if you're triggered, quite frankly, or most likely, quite frankly, most likely you will be triggered. And my goal isn't to trigger you just to, my intention isn't to trigger you at all. You being triggered is what you got going on with you. Sorry. Certain things that I'm triggered by. Not much, but I have my triggers. We all do. Uh, but is to rise above those triggers and to be rational and logical in our responses and what we do. Because you could be triggered, but what you do with your trigger, you lash out, scream, you yell, uh, you misuse your power. Are you vindictive? Um, do you ignore your responsibilities? Um, I say this to parents or caregivers. You're triggered by your child, and you just say, "F it," let them do what they do. But is that the order of the house? Do you have order in the house? Um, Order is what order is. Your consistency, your follow through is what is going to make or break that situation in your household. Because once that child knows they can do or say this and get this type of reaction from you, they're going to continue to do and say this to get that type of reaction from you because they know that you're not going to be consistent in what you do and you're not going to follow through in what you do and keep them accountable for what they do and what they say. That's why I don't blame the apple. I blame the tree. And as you blame the tree, uh, you gotta acknowledge who planted the tree, what type of seed uh, went into the ground, how what was the ground like uh, that started that formation and that process of the tree being a tree, growing, turning into a tree. Understanding these things because I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to fault anybody. Um, and as I talk to parents, I also know that they had parents, and their parents had parents, and their parents had parents, their parents had parents, their parents had parents. You get what I'm saying? So we are all products of trees. Um, and having a deeper understanding of those things as I transition back from parents and go to the individual, um, understanding these type of things about life, and having a I would say a lot of people, this is the thing I learned in college. Shout out to Springfield College for this. They probably teach this in high school, but I picked it up in college. I learned the micro, meso, and macro. And that's a way of breaking down what the three stratospheres of how things operate in the world or in society. The micro is things, basically what you see and what you experience and people experience and things like that. That's micro. And then the meso is the level above that. Those are the people who are, making sure this stuff operates on the micro level. So the meso is on top of the micro. They make sure that the micro is staying in order, doing what they're supposed to do. And then the macro is on top of that. And they're on top, they make sure the meso does what they're supposed to do to keep the micro in order. Um, and knowing that, bring them back to the individual. A lot of people operate on the micro level. So their experiences are the world to them. The micro is, everything, all that stuff you see on TV and all that stuff, and Google and Yahoo and all that stuff. That's micro stuff. Um, and there's different areas within the micro that people exist in. You know, Some people are very myopic and just know what they know around them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what you know. You experience what you experience. That's most people. And then then there's people that know a lot about the micro. They be up on social media and Hollywood Insider and all that stuff. They love the micro. They can tell you everything about what's going on, about a bunch of nonsense. That's going to keep them distracted. Yeah, your attention is in other places. And that's done by design. So, you focus on the micro, you very you don't focus on the self, knowing about who you are, your likes and dislikes. Why do you like and dislike those things? Knowing about your strengths and your weaknesses. Why are they your strengths? Why are your weaknesses your weaknesses? Understanding who you are is critical to achieving a certain amount of autonomy and being sovereign, being independent. I've heard stories of people telling me that they talk to their therapist, and the therapist they tell them about their life experience and everything, and their therapist tells them, well, yeah, that's why you feel this way. Well, that's why you're this way now, because of that right there. And I'm like, did you know you felt you were experiencing those type of feelings, like those type of deep feelings? Or you just telling your intake story, telling your story, telling your history? And did that person say that's it right there? I don't know. Someone telling you something, this is me, I'm telling you something right now. You can go to 360MBAAA.com and schedule yourself an appointment. I'll be telling you stuff sooner than later. But I always gauge the quality of the person who's telling me anything. And I look at who they are. And if what their philosophy, thought, or belief, what their mindset is, and how they look at the world, how they look at life. If I'm struggling, everybody's struggling to a certain degree. Keep it real with you. Everybody is struggling. Everybody's going through something. Bills, responsibilities. You may hate your job, but you gotta work the job to keep the mortgage and the car and all that stuff. Everybody going through something. And I judge the quality of a person, especially if they're going to be giving advice or therapy to anybody, if what they're doing, what they're selling, isn't working for them. I want to see the quality of your work. I want to see the produce that you produce. I've seen people got all these degrees, all these titles, they the head of this and the head of that. They come in and telling everybody what to do and everything. Okay, cool. They got this new study, they got this new data, they got this new this and new that. How effective is it? Does it work in the real world, or is it theory? I judge everything based off the results. I'm a result-oriented type of person. If the results ain't what they supposed to be, what we talking about? When I started in '06, we had some easy foundational things that wasn't too hard, wasn't too difficult. 18 years later, it's a bunch of theories and data-driven studies and things that have been done in controlled environments with selected participants, and they're supposed to be replicated in other places all over the world because you found success in controlled environments with selected participants. When you really start breaking down this stuff, the stuff that people believe that's going to work for you and yourn, it's a crock of bullshit. Sorry. There's a lot of good people with very good intentions who want to do well. They really want to do well, but you are as good as your knowledge. Sorry. And this is coming from somebody because when you're exchanging money, I don't do insurance. So this is, you're giving me your hard-earned money. And because you're giving me your hard-earned money, I'm going to tell you the real. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. That may be shocking and that may be triggering, but okay. Sometimes you may need to go and marinate on some things and, think about it. Do your own, not research, but just put in the time. Yeah, I guess research. Do your own research. Put in the time. Divert your attention from this and the TV and a lot of things that are just put in the micro to keep everyone distracted from what really needs to be focused upon. Your attention is your energy. Your energy and your attention is an investment. Part of 360 MBAA is this is an investment. Me and you talking, if it's the individual, if it's the person, the adult, this is an investment. If you are here because of children, your child, this is also an investment. That's probably a greater investment because the work that we do together and the work that you do putting in with that child, those children, that's the fruit. That's the quality of the fruit. That's when you bite. Oh, that's a good apple. Yeah. Look at all this as an investment. This is me being honest, speaking my truth to help you as an adult, as an adult, or if you have children, you need help with that with your children. I don't know how long I've went. I wish I had a timer on this whole thing, but this is Dewan here. This is 360 MBAA, 360-degree mind body awareness and assessment. And this is another thing why I don't put too much stock in college and academia and everything, because you can have 1 degree. You can have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. That just makes you very It supposedly makes you very qualified for that one thing that you're about, that you're into, that you've invested your time, your money, uh, energy into. 360 MBAA is looking at things at the entire 360-degree perspective, having that awareness and analyzing uh, what we are now aware of, because that outside affects your mind and your body. Um, Hope this has been informative. Um, these are my thought. These are my thoughts, my perspective. Um, Holler at me at info@360MBAA. Check back on the email, but the website is 360MBAA. They got the thing. I got the thing at the bottom. Put your info in, whatever you may need. I'm here to provide to you. This is a new way of well, this is my way of doing mental health. Trying to be the best that I can be for you, because you're giving me your hard-earned money, and I take this very seriously. 60 for a $40 session. No, $60 for a 45-minute session. That's the adult. That's you. You want to talk. You want to work through some things. You want to work through some things. $60. That's a jumpsuit. That's a hoodie at Nike. Come on. You don't get your mind right, feeling right. Because I ain't gonna keep you for years upon years. My goal is to help you become more independent, more autonomous, more sovereign, uh, more confident in who you are, or to help you find out who you really are. That's $60 playing 45 minutes. Then you get the package. What's it? Package. 150 for 3 sessions. That's some Jordans. That's some Jordans. Just 3 sessions of quality work. Quality work. Because you're going to come out feeling a whole lot better. So what I provide for you. For the working with the children, that's a little bit more intensive. $60 for a 45-minute session, just to get the information, learn who your child is, learn who you are. Most importantly, learn who you are, because once I learn who you are, I'm going to know who that child is. And then we go through all the school stuff, the diagnoses and all that stuff. I give you my thoughts on all that. And then that's 60 for 45. And then I do in-home stuff in the 860 area code, 203 area code. I do that. I do in-home. Prices on the website. For the in-home, where I'm going to come in, just assess the situation, see what's going on, see how the child acts, see how you act, see how the child act when you say something to the child. See how a child reacts again. See your reaction. That's me being aware of the situation, assessing the situation in real time. Then I'm going to provide to you what you need to do to get that child where they need to be. I provide tips, strategies, what you need to do. Now, it is upon you to do what needs to be done. Because you're going to be held accountable for your actions. You're going to be held accountable for your inactions. Remember that apple? You want a scrumptious apple or you want a lot more intensive? So that is what I do. That's the work that I provide to you. This is 360 MBAA, mind, body, awareness, and assessment from a 360-degree perspective. Putting this on YouTube. Put the link to Facebook so everybody see it. But yeah, 360 MBAA, mind, body, awareness, assessment. Comment, share, like.